Old standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Monday, March Madness, full swing. We got to recap the weekend, talk about what went right, what went wrong, talk about some bracket chaos. We got some NBA action tonight as well. So a lot to get to today, guys. So no time to waste. Dan, who we got on the show today? We got some great cappers.
Yeah, what went wrong was me screaming all weekend long, Andy. So the mic is turned up. I'm going to try and keep myself nice and low here so that you don't hear me having my voice crack like a prepubescent boy all show long. But we got Yanni up first. Steam report. You know we're going through movers, shakers, where we've seen some line moves. We got Crackman coming on. He's got a prop for you. Don't worry, folks. He's also going to let us know how he's been doing in March Madness and what he thinks we should be betting on coming up this week. Steve Merrill is going to do the same as far as the bracket is concerned, but he's also got two best bets for you: Lakers, Pistons, Spurs, Heat. Andy, don't scream when your livelihood is your voice, my friend.
All right, put in the chat, what do you think Dan was screaming at over the weekend?
That's a good, and we'll reveal at the end of the show. What was Dan screaming about?
Wrong answers only in the live chat. What was Dan screaming at? I know what it was. So all right, put it in the live chat. All right, let's do it. Yanni, get on in here. How are you, man?
Never better, bro. What a difference a week makes. Last week, I remember jumping on here, still mad about Saturday's loss. I had that terrible day that just nothing went right. But since then, everything's gone good. Especially with March Madness. Before we jump into it, just got to give a shout out to the crew that was at the Wynn Sportsbook yesterday. These guys recognized me. Friends of mine came in town. They were here for the whole first 4 days. They come in every year and bet. And I had my 5% on Tennessee, and my buddy bets big. He bet 25,000 on Tennessee. These guys there was like 12 of them, like 6 dudes, 6 girls, and they were here from like Tennessee, some from Tennessee and South Carolina and stuff. So they were on the same side, and it was just a really good time. So shout out to that crew. You guys were awesome. I'm not sure what tagging they're supposed to tag everywhere, so I'll see make sure I check those out, all those pictures. They were a good fun group. I met a lot of people over the weekend that were here for March Madness. Hopefully they made some money. It was good. And again, I finally shook off that North Carolina loss, Andy. I've only given out 4 or 5% this whole college basketball season. Like, I've been sitting profitable the entire year, 1, 2, or 3 since the first week. And I said, I'm just going to stay consistent and really narrow down best bets. So 4% were good enough instead of putting that pressure. But every once in a while, if something really stuck out, I said, I'll do it. That's what I talked about with my subscribers. They were good with it. So only twice during the regular season did I fire 5%, both won. I fired the first one for March Madness. It was North Carolina up 19 with 6 minutes left, and they lose. The VCU had no business. VCU, you saw what happened to them in the next game. Like, again, that was the real VCU team. And the improbable happened. But then yesterday, out of nowhere, I'm doing my work in Tennessee. I'm looking at, I'm like, dude, Tennessee should be a 5.5 point favorite in this game based on my power ratings. I dig deep. What's going on? Is there an injury that I'm missing? Is there a key player that went out in February or March that I don't know about? I'm like, what don't I see? Nothing. I'm like, it's the recency bias and the love for the opponent, I guess, because it seemed like even the crowd was all pro Virginia. Anyway, so I said, I'm firing a 5%, and I did it. Unfortunately, there was only up for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Didn't get a ton of people buying it. They lost faith. And that's what I wanted to bring up. That's the mistake that a lot of bettors that make, new bettors. Like, we all search for sources of information. I do. I look for sources of information in different markets that are profitable. When you find those sources of information, the goal and the key is to stick with them. Stick with the bettors or the sources that have proven to you long-term to be right more than wrong. Like, they're not going to be right all the time. But I see that at WagerTalk a lot. People just jumping on and off, like they're looking for the hot hand. It's so hard to win when you have like a winning source of information, whether it's darts, whether it's MMA, whether it's NFL. regardless who the capper is, if you know they've proven long-term they're profitable there, the worst thing you could do is jump off like if they've had a little cold streak, because that's when you should expect them to flip it around. And yet they do the opposite. They jump on the hot hand, even if it's a losing better. Like they don't know this guy, whether he's profitable over his last 365 days, over his last 1,000 bets, but he's 9-0 over his last 9. So they'll ride that guy. And that's the mistake just so many pick buyers make. And that's why I think the industry ends up having a worse name than it should. And bettors end up not being able to profit from sources when they actually could if they use them the right way. So anyway, it's a long about way of getting to great weekend, great couple days of March Madness, Thursday to Sunday, 61%, 25 bets. So yeah, 2 of my futures are still alive. I only had 3 futures. 2 are still alive. I have Duke to win it all. They're the best team in college basketball. Don't let the Siena scare fool you. If anything, that just gives you value. You could get Duke right now plus 450 to win it all. There are teams that are lower odds than Duke. Duke is favored over everyone. I'm telling you that right now. And I have Purdue. Purdue's still alive. We have Purdue, I think, at like 25-1. Anything more than 10-1, I'll tell you now, Purdue's live. Purdue's a top 6 team going into this tournament. And right now with, Florida out of the mix, they're in the top 4. So look out for Purdue. That team's balanced, loaded, and had a really tough strength of schedule.
I'm wearing my Purdue sweatshirt today, actually.
Wow.
Support the Indiana team. Listen, we got our football championship for IU. I can support the Purdue Boilermakers. Oh my God. Can you imagine if basketball and football championships was right here in Indiana? Oh, all right. You got me rooting for Purdue now. What did we notice from a lot of favorites? I saw Kelly humming and hawing about not cashing any of her underdogs.
That's what usually happens. Andy, listen, bro. That's what happened. That's what's supposed to happen. That's supposed to happen. The better team's supposed to win. That's supposed to happen. But in an independent single game, there's a lot of randomness. And that's why we see Cinderella and we get excited for March Madness, because the improbable happens and Iowa beats Florida. And that's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't happen all that often. And that's why I always tell guys when they ask me about bracket advice and how to win their contests, I always tell them, just don't try to outsmart yourself. Look at the rankings. If you don't create your own, at least have, something to look at. At least the AP Ken Palm, it's better than nothing. And just go with the better team. You'll probably end up winning your contest or being close to the finals if you pick the national champion in most bracket contests. Now, if you're in the ones that have thousands of people, that's a different story. Then you have to pick those couple of upsets. But if you're in those pools with friends that are 10, 20 people max, bro, just pick the better teams all the way through. Stop looking for that number 13 that's going to beat the 3 or what have you. That happens once every 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, again, we talk about it and we get pissed. Last year, the favorites did it again. This year, the favorites won again. The difference is, are they covering? That's where this year we saw ATS is where it hurt. That not only did the favorites win in advance, but the favorites covered the spread. That is a rarity, because the favorite winning, that's what's supposed to happen in sports. That's why in NBA, in MLB, where we have 7-game series, usually the best team wins the championship, unlike NFL, where it's 1 game, playoffs, 1 game, Super Bowl. There's a lot of randomness, and it's not always the best team wins the Super Bowl. But in those 7-game series, more times than not, at least one of the 2 finalists is the best team out there. And that's what, again, is supposed to happen. But in point spread sports, the spread should be the great equalizer. That's what odds makers and bookmakers depend on. And if the book does a really good job, then over 5,000 college basketball games, we should have 2,500 favorites, 2,500 dogs, 2,500 overs, 2,500 unders. That's what should happen. And if you look over the last 5,000, you're going to be pretty close to that. Pretty close. probably shaded more towards the biases of bettors, meaning maybe dogs did a little bit better and maybe unders did a slight bit better. But when you factor in the juice, neither should be profitable, meaning over the last 5,000 lined college basketball games, whether you bet every favorite or whether you bet every dog, you should be down money. That's the job of the odds maker, the sports book, whose job is to balance risk. If they do their job correctly, that's what should actually happen. But straight up's a different animal. And, favorites usually get the job done. And that's just what we saw in March Madness. So do not be surprised. Hopefully now that's where the shift happens, because favorites did so well. It doesn't mean dogs are going to come out and win games outright, but we may see favorites shaded a little bit higher. So we may see some value, a little bit line value more so on the dogs. And it wasn't a surprise to see the first 3 moves for the Sweet 16 be on favorites, because it's the sharps getting out ahead of the market, and the market, rest assured, is the recreational bettors who will be on these favorites once again after what they saw this past weekend, because the first day they bet dogs and that hurt them. The first 2 days they bet dogs. They look for those underdogs. And then, like I talked about on Saturday on last call, it kind of changes and they look for those favorites in that 32. So they did pretty good. The public probably did good yesterday, probably hit some of those money line parlays, except for Florida, which probably hurt them. But moving forward, because favorites have done so good ATS, we should get some line value at least on some of these dogs moving forward. Hopefully.
I got to tell you, I thought the general consensus was that the public did terrible.
Did they get crushed overall? Probably.
That was my sense, and my feeling was
there weren't a lot of happy people with the win. I can tell you that when the games were final. Like the lines were longer before the games than after the games. That's never a good sign.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The only person happy is the boss.
Yeah.
the odds maker, the art to Caesars of the world. Yeah. I really think, and some people are talking in the chat, not certainly not rubbing it in, but Florida killed everybody. It just takes one of these teams to lose, and it kills everybody's money line parlays. And that one. So I think the general consensus is that this has been a really, really nice.
Well, and nice I'm sure early on they were trying to find all the dogs, right? And then that day when the favorites go 16-0, everybody sees those tweets, and then they're like, all right, let's go all favorites. And then Florida loses, and then everybody's fucked.
And Kansas makes a comeback. Kansas comes back. Utah State gets it done, and covered that kind of stuff ends up crushing people. I saw it yesterday at the win. I'm telling you, by the end of the night, after that everyone was on Virginia against Tennessee. That was a pick 'em, but for some reason they were on Virginia. And then everybody, once they saw Florida lost, that was like, all right, just go all in on Arizona. It was all in on Arizona after that.
What are we seeing with the line moves for the next round? Are you seeing any aggressive moves?
A couple sides got hit a little early for the totals. And keep in mind that the limits will get bigger. And a lot of this is getting out ahead of the market because I'm surprised it's actually 4 sides. And there's only, 8 games. So they are on 614 Houston minus 2.5, 615 Iowa plus 2.5, 620 Arizona minus 8.5, and 624 Connecticut minus the 1. Connecticut minus the 1. Where did I have Iowa on my rankings? I had them 30th exactly, right? 25th. Wow. Yeah, 25th. Okay.
All right. Well, Yanni, it's one of Dan and I's favorite times of the year. We wanted to share it with you. Brackets are busted, people getting killed. So it's time to move on to baseball is my best sports season, Yanni. This is what's on social media now. Everyone's moving.
People can't wait.
I buried you in college basketball, but baseball is my best sport.
I've been waiting 12 months for this. I've been waiting a year for first day, opening day. I've been waiting for this. Yeah.
Yanni, you are one that probably baseball might be your best sport. But
it's only because it's the accounts that I'm able to provide. And they bet so much stuff that I can't even get down on. That's why, like, they'll bet the first inning, yes or no, do they score, like all those props. They just crush these accounts, man. And again, for subscribers, it's mostly sides totals, maybe team total, maybe a prop, but those time sensitive stuff that those dudes destroy. That's why I love baseball so much. Like those run hits, error props, like they just, like they'll find a game, and let's say they like the over in a game. Within 3 minutes, they will have bet the game over, the first half over, the score in the first inning, the pitcher strike count. Like they'll hit it every possible way they can. And like in other sports, I don't see that. And in baseball, I think the reason for that is the limits aren't as big overall for sides and totals to begin with. So they've learned to have to get more creative because they don't take the kind of action in baseball that they will on a football game, regardless of what time of the year it is. And in the summertime, when it's mostly sharps versus the books, they're even more cautious of booking a bet. Like try to walk into a Vegas casino on the Strip and try to bet $1,000 on a baseball total in July. And they're going to have to get approval and all kind of nonsense. But, in September, try to bet 50,000 on an NFL total, and they don't even care. And that's the difference. So there's value in baseball, but you got it. We talked about it last year, and we'll talk about it in the beginning of April, what you need to do and what to look for.
Anything else you're looking at? It's not a huge day of split. This is a perfect day for me.
This is the day to take off. I was actually considering scheduling a massage, a mobile massage. There's that kind of day. Here's what we got. Here's real quick NBA for you. It'll be on the Steam sheet, but here, Atlanta, Indiana, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Portland. Don't pay too much attention to these early moves in the NBA as the day goes on, especially a day like today with no college basketball. But here's what's up. There's 3 free plays for you over at WagerTalk. All of them are premiums, 2 or 3%. One's a 4% best bet. So there's a 2 soccer, and a tennis. The tennis is a smaller tournament in Japan. The soccer's 1 in Ecuador, 1 in Colombia. I told you, Colombia, they wiped it off my accounts. I can't bet Colombian soccer for like it's in my even the off-screen books. They took so there's something going on in Colombia. If you could get down on Colombian soccer, you probably should. So there's 3 free plays over there. The Steam sheet's up because I confirmed the 4% in women's college basketball today. So we have a 4% women's college basketball best bet. That's on the Steam sheet. It'll have NBA and NHL on there as well. Plus, looking ahead to the Sweet 16. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Busy couple days and weeks ahead. So when it's this kind of day, enjoy it. Look at your bankroll and assess where you're sitting. And again, move forward as we go and keep grinding, adding profit, baby. That's the goal. All
right, Yanni, enjoy Monday once baseball season starts. All hands on deck. It's a busy season. So, all right, Yanni, thank you very much for joining us on a Monday. Appreciate everybody in the chat here. Let's see. Dan, lacrosse, I was looking at your lacrosse record, 19-8 for the season. Just very, very well done. We've got
we were on a little 5-0 streak there for a while, Andy. We were feeling real nice. We lose on Friday, so we reset, and we got one locked and loaded that's going to be a part of the package. But we got, like you said, like this is our time of year right now, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, Steven. I think you mentioned it. Tennis plays. Listen, while everyone's betting college basketball, we're betting tennis doubles plays, and they are a cash cow. 7-2. You don't need too many of these plays to cash. But we've got 2 of them going today. Those are, one starts in 10 minutes, one starts later this afternoon. We've got lacrosse that is up. A 5% darts play is going up later today. I confirmed with Gianni we're going to put that up at half price. So if you guys want the 5% darts play, it'll be half price. But the way I would say, guys, get a package. That is the best way to build your bankroll through us. You get every single play. It's tough for me to put up a package at 9 o'clock, and then there's a tennis play that starts, in a couple of hours. So we're still running the buy 3 days, get 3 free.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it really is. It's 6 days for just $69, and even though there's no college basketball games tonight, we got multiple plays that are up for sale for clients. So just because it's not busy in some sports, we are always going to have things up. Shout out to Jan, 5% boxing best bet hit. He moves to 13-5 lifetime. So these are the sports. These are the sports, man. Bet college basketball. I know it's fun, but the real money is to be made, in my opinion, is just in these sports that we handicap. So creeping up on 30 units for the year, and that is an average of 10 units per month. We'd keep that up, Dan. That is a 120 unit profitable year. So really, really happy with that. That's over at wt.buzz/AL. And also shout out the Sports Memo, 6-1 last week in Sports Memo bets. So we do have
for those plays.
Yes, we have a $7 play that is up now, and like we said, 6-1 last week. So looking to start this week off strong. Our Let It Ride play lost on Cameron Johnson on Friday, and so I went back to him for clients last night. Dan, we had over 10.5 points. It took him 5 minutes to go over. 5 minutes into the game, he was
of course
he went over. So
but that's why, Andy, why you've mentioned before. Sometimes when you lose on a play, you don't just abandon it. You stick with that handicap and go back to the well, and you made up for it and then some.
Absolutely. So let's bring in Bill, because Crackman has been one of the few that is doing well in the tournament. Bill,
that's for sure.
Like, not a lot of people can say they're 16-6,
yeah,
for 28 units. Congratulations, man.
Bill.
What's been the secret to your success in the tourney?
I mean, listen, this is what I do for a living. Before I was in this selling part of the game, I play at sports books and win. I'm going to win overall. I mean, that's what I do. That's what I've done for decades. So, again, this first rounds of March Madness here went really well, 16-6, as you guys know. Listen, I've been saying it all year long. Get on board for you guys had a 104. I'm not a good salesman, so I'll just tell you, I didn't even realize until before I came on air last week, it was $149 for I guess until the championship game. That's all I can tell you is it's real money. I put my money where my mouth is. Some people may take it as bragging. I do that to show people when I show you tickets. I'm not a guy that shows mountains of cash, and I don't do that kind of thing. But I show tickets because I want to show you guys that I'm betting my own money on this stuff that I'm releasing. And to be real blunt, I give it out to the WagerTalk people before I'm even betting a lot of this stuff, because normally throughout the season, I'm afraid I may ruin the market or something. So I want to give out an obtainable line. I can do what other places that sell games do. They bet -2 on something, and then they give out -3. I'm not doing that. No way. I refuse to do that, especially like that kind of a play on the key numbers. Oh my God. But I've seen it in the past. First of all, most services don't even move. The lines don't even move. You'll get that same line right up at game time, because let me be blunt. A lot of that stuff is it's a very efficient market. So I'm looking to bet into something that's not efficient. I'd rather not have my stuff move. I'd rather be able to bet and give out the same stuff to you guys at the same exact number. But I play at Circa, I play at Westgate, I play at South Point, I play at Win. 3 of the 4, maybe not Win. 3 of the 4, though, those lines are going to move. Whatever I bet at those 3 places, Circa, South Point, and Westgate. Whatever I bet in my account, you're welcome to ask their directors. I don't care. Ask John Murray. Ask the kid down at Circa. Ask Chris Andrews. If I bet something, they're going to move it. That's just the way it works. Why? Not because they like me, because they know long term I have destroyed them. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but I have beat up Westgate. I beat South Point for 6 figures a year. I'm only telling you that you could check it out with the managers there. I don't care if they tell you. The reason why I say I don't throw the Win in there, guys, the Win, they had a giant bettor in there. Maybe Gianni can even confirm this. They had a big bettor in there for March Madness. Oh my God. He was betting so much money. They had no choice but to overmove the numbers. And that better, Joe Public, Square Better, big player in the casino, obviously. He destroyed it on Thursday, Friday. He won a lot of money for himself. I actually know how much. I actually know that this guy destroyed it. But he's just Joe Public from the casino. So that means I'm going to lose in that sports book. That's right. They had a 6 on. I don't release these to clients because they're not plays to clients. Like when they have and this happened the first day. They had a 12 on someone that was 10 everywhere. Everywhere. Honestly, it's just worth the middle. Lay 10 minus -05, take the 12. But I'm really not a guy that middles things. So I just took the 12. Yesterday, Kentucky +6. It was -5, -05 at places. Just to play. Now, I think I went 0-6 the first day betting there. And these aren't plays for WagerTalk people. These are just plays for the market. So this guy actually beat me up for a lot of money by him betting. Yesterday I got some money back. Like perfect example, that Utah State, which I give out to the clients, +12.5. They had 13 because this guy bet the other side of that game, bet Arizona, and he might have laid 12 on the game. He might have got a push, and I may have got the win over there. But conversely, to the opposite stuff that I don't also release play things out to, over at the South Point, they had 1st to 15. Here's a tip for you guys if you're sharp enough to have more than one account. South Point, MGM, Circa, Westgate, they all have 1st to 10s, 1st to 15s. Just watch the market. Now, here's what I mean, guys. I was doing my VSiN show down at Circa on Thursday, and I'm in the booth, me and Gil, and we hear this roar in the crowd at 9 points, 10 points. Like we didn't even realize how many people are betting these 1st to 10s. I'm talking about when I couldn't believe it. I said, Gil, what the hell is going on here? And sure enough, the whole crowd screaming and yelling at every first 10. I wasn't looking into the market then. After that, I looked into the market. The next day, I was in every sports book. I was in all 4 or 5. I was in 5 sports books watching games throughout those 4 days. I'm over at South Point, and I should have took a video. It was like the wave. Who was Tennessee was playing? I think Miami, Ohio, or Miami, Florida. I forgot who they were playing, but whoever Tennessee played, the whole room was going crazy for the underdog at 14 and 13, and they were all screaming, yelling, and then Tennessee wound up winning, I don't know, 15-13, and everyone was quiet except for one guy that stood up and cashed his ticket. He was like, yes. And I started really looking at this market, though, after that VSiN show. You wouldn't believe the numbers I was getting at South Point. I was betting like the favorites to get to 15 first because the market was minus like 190 and they were minus 140 and 150 because all the people kept on betting the underdogs, money line underdogs 1st to 15. I totally rinsed them. So it's funny. I went 0-6 on the market handicapping at the win. I went 7-0. Went 7-0 on Thursday Thursday or Friday, what day it was, at South Point. Just betting against the public. I don't have to know anything. I don't have to know a player's name on a team. Nothing. All I am is betting the money line on the favorites to reach 15 points because the public is all over the dogs. They have no choice but to skew those lines to get some money back on the favorites, and that went very, very well.
So do you just go into the books and try and do you look at the numbers or do you try and get a feel for what everyone's in the room?
There's no feel. Here's the feel. And you don't have to go into the books. Have the South Point app, hit the props, minus 140 on a favorite. That's minus 190 or minus 2-1. There was a big favorite that was a 30-point favorite that day on Friday. And they were minus 24-1 at MGM to get to the first 15. You know what the South Point had? Minus 600. Minus 600. You could have scalped it and took back 10-1, 1050 actually. I didn't at MGM. I didn't. All I was doing was betting I bet 6,000 to win 1,000 on the favorite, and that was just market handicapping. What I'm trying to say is I'm giving it to people to do. Be smart. Be smart. Be a friend to yourself. Have multiple outs. Have the South Point out. If you're here in Vegas, have the South Point app. Have the Win app. Have the Circa app. Have the Westgate app. Listen, there's money to be made out there. Absolute steals. It just so happens that the Win beat me up because of this player that was in there betting these favorites, and he got the money on a lot of these. But long term, they have no chance. I will destroy the Win. Those guys over there are very good to me. I love the Win. I put some videos up of the sports book, how great it is there. It just happened I lost like 30,000 at the Win the last 4 days. But listen, it doesn't matter because in the end they have no chance. You cannot. You're going to lose money to me because I'm a market handicapper when it comes to a lot of these things. And just like the market handicapper over at the South Point, I think I went 5-2 on day 2. Now, perfect example. I went 5-2 betting the first to 15. I literally like broke even because I laid 210 on one and 190 on one. I think I laid, and I think I went. Let me see. I think I went 6-2. I broke even. I went 6-2. So I broke about even the second day. First day, like I said, 7-0. Just market handicap, but just check on your apps just to see what's offered. You know, you guys have DraftKings and FanDuel. Just check on all those apps back east or wherever you are, whatever jurisdiction. There is money to be had. It just takes some time. Tiptoe through the tulips. Just see, look at all the different things they offer. Look at the differences. Know the sharper sportsbook. For example, FanDuel, much sharper than a lot of the new books that came to the country. I respect the FanDuel bookmakers and odds makers. Maybe they're the sharper sports book to go against. And it's just market handicapping. You don't have to know a player's name. You don't have to know the color jersey the team wears. You have to know nothing. All you're looking at is the apps to try to see what you can earn. There's money out there, fellas. Just know there is. It just takes a lot of work. And that's the reason why you join us at Wager Talk. I understand you don't want to put the work in. Maybe you don't have the time to put the work in. You're working 40, 50 hours a week. That's why you come over to us. That's why just listening to the stuff I gave out, 16-6 so far in March Madness.
All right. The people, they don't want an NBA prop, Bill. They need an NBA prop from you. They're asking in the chat, give us an NBA prop. What do you like tonight?
Okay, let's go. Make sure there's lines here still. Austin Reeves, the Lakers. Just want to make sure 21.5. Okay. Austin Reeves, Lakers under 21.5 points. The Pistons are one of the top ranked defense teams this season, especially against guards. Cunningham is out for Detroit. So they can literally throw defenders at Reeves in there, like LeVert and Jenkins. And also, I just think that Austin Reeves under 21.5 points. It's minus 120 I'm looking at right here. Austin Reeves under. Check around. You know, you have different outs. You might get a better line. Yeah, so we're going to have some more March Madness stuff up. I'm going to have, for people that want to come out, we're going to be at the Westgate tomorrow, Tuesday, 12 noon, Allen, Boston, live, breaking down the Sweet 16. I went to dinner with Allen last night over at the Italian American Club. What a great place that is. One of my favorite old school knockaround joints. My God, it's like you're walking back into the 60s. It really is. I love that place, local joint. So tomorrow, 12 noon, Westgate. We're going to have live Allen Boston breaking down the Sweet 16 and look forward to seeing whoever's out there. Thank you guys for following, liking, subscribing. All I can say is I said it. I meant it. I'm here to represent it. 16-6. I told you guys.
Can you tell Alan that Andy from Wager Talk says hi? I have never met him, and I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to meet Alan.
He's a genius mind. Listen, Alan's an absolute genius. Graduated from Penn. Worked for Billy Walters with myself for 11 years. You know, but he has a special look to him that he's very serious. As you can see here, here's one photo of him during the show. Very, very serious. Allen Boston. You know, he is but you know what? Allen's a good guy too. People say things and say like, I mean, people want to make fun of someone. Allen had a winning tournament, so he had a good first 2 rounds. I got another one. This is another one for the end of the show.
Come on.
It's my man breaking down March Madness and winning people money if they listen. That was a great turnout. I counted 26 people there. I counted a female there writing down every single play. That was a great first round we did with Allen over there. That video that's on YouTube, my God, he just, you could see who has the memory like that, could break down every game with a spiral binder. This is not a guy using computer algorithms and stuff. This is one of the old school guys. So we'll be there tomorrow, 12 noon.
All right, Bill Krackomberger, thank you, and continued success, man. Close out this tourney strong, brother. Close it out strong, man. Let's do it. All right. Bill,
and obviously, Andy, if you can't be there for that, it will be here on the YouTube channel. More reasons than ever to hit that subscribe button, man.
Yes. Dan, stop talking. I'm
sending
you messages. I'm sending you messages telling you to save what's left of your voice.
Only ASMR from now on.
All right, couple things here. Dan lost his voice doing a Tiny Tim song in karaoke.
Good guess.
Very, 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 very well done, Frank. Jesse, Dan has some weird interests, and he lost his voice screaming celebration after winning 2 free tickets to the World Oddities Expo in Philly on March 28th and 29th. Jesse, I can't beat that. That is just...
That's the weirdest promo for Jesse's event that I've ever heard in my life. That was well done by him. I didn't even know there was a World Oddities Expo, and now we're talking about it on WagerTalk Today, man.
Yeah. So,
Jesse.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We did not have a winner, believe it or not, on Sell Me last week. Nobody picked Teddy's side. Everybody tried to side with Long Island, and and it did not go well. Arizona won by somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
Yeah.
So Jesse, you're gonna get a free 3-day pass. I'm gonna apply that to your account right after this show. So Jesse, great comment. You're going to get a free 3-day pass for the World Oddities Convention.
Dude, I checked out their website after he brought it up, and I was literally just like, wow, I can only imagine what type of cleaning will need to be done in Philadelphia area hotel rooms after March 28th. And
you should go. You should go. You should try and make it if you got time.
Yeah,
go to it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who doesn't have time for that, man?
Jeff asks about the Let It Ride. Let It Ride appears to be a long, drawn-out parlay where you need to hit 5 or 6 consecutive bets at even money. Why not just make a parlay? Then at least you benefit from the heavy plus money return. I'm trying to decide if that is accurate or not. First of all, we do a lot of parlays. Parlays are big part of our repertoire. So yeah, we do parlays, but the thinking behind the Let It Ride is we start with 1, and the mistake people make is they try and do a play every single day.
Yep.
We want to give it some space and give it to breathe. And so we pick sports that we are not on a huge winning streak. Like, we don't want to pick a sport where we're 8-0 because there's a loss coming down. We want to pick a sport that we're seeing well, like on a 4-1 run, a 5-2 run, something like that. So I can tell you right now, like Jan's boxing plays 13-5 this year. I think he's hit 3 in a row. We're probably going to use that one. Dan's coming off of a lacrosse loss. That to me says we're probably going to use a lacrosse play coming up real soon. So, yeah. So we'll, can you sign the rest of the show? One of the best videos ever that's on YouTube is, it was at a rap show and they had a woman who was doing the sign thing. She was getting after it, and the rapper thought she was dancing.
I know.
So he went up and started dancing.
And then she's just signing like crazy.
Dude. Like, no, dude, get back on stage. All right, let's bring in Steve Merrill. We got to talk about some basketball here. Steve, happy Monday. How are you?
Didn't have my light on. Just realized it was a little dark.
I'm good. You're always too bright, Steve.
It's very sunny. By the way, Dan, and I kept telling Dan my voice was going all week, and look who I jinxed.
I know. It's insane, Steve.
If you're a TV host, Dan, it's like you don't play pickup basketball if you're an NBA player during the season. You don't go sing karaoke during the NCAA tournament because that's
on me. That's on
the
me,
NBA
Steve.
playoffs.
I'll be good. I'll be good by tomorrow. That's why I'm putting myself on the IR. And he's got you the rest of the show.
Steve, he's still talking.
That's what I can't get over is that he's jumping on that. He's jumping on that bad leg as we speak.
Because newbie talks, not newbie sits silently.
Well,
like
Steve, his voice is hanging on by a thread. Like you can hear it. It is like almost gone, baby, gone.
Which is why he needs to stop talking, as you're saying, Andy. I know. I
will take Steve from here, Dan. March Madness takeaways from your point of view here, Steve. What are you seeing? I know Kelly in Vegas is not happy because the dogs aren't barking. What are you seeing in the markets?
Yeah, Kelly and I, of course, did the Selection Sunday show, and then she and I did a standalone 30-minute video last Monday, which I thought was really good, actually. We're going to clip it, and we kind of made it into just a whole standalone video. And so her and I have been going back and forth on X a lot, and she's been tagging me, and we've been having discussions. And I should have forgotten how big her X following is and that it invites in some of the smart-ass trolls, because I responded back the other day when she said, so much for the dogs or the future of the tournament. And I responded back, that's what we get with the NIL and the transfer portals. We've seen it 3 years straight now. It's been chalk heavy, as we predicted in the video Monday. And a couple guys chimed in, really genius. Thanks for the insight, Steve. It's so obvious, whereas about another 30 people liked the tweet because it was helpful. So that's what you get when you interact with Kelly's followers on X. But from a serious perspective, for those that don't realize how much college basketball has changed, I think you probably realize by now, this is the third straight year that we've had just chalk heavy more than ever. In fact, on Friday, not a single double-digit seed won a game in those 16 on Friday. And to put that in perspective, all 16 higher seeds in the women's tournament first round won on Friday. We've seen it for years in the women's tournament. We see 50-some point favorites the last couple of days. The men's tournament is turning more into the women's tournament as we speak. You're not going to see your Cinderella stories anymore. When number 11 seed powerhouse Texas is your Cinderella in the Sweet 16, that tells you all you need to know. And by the way, this is the 13th time in the 15 years that they've had the first four that a team won a game in the round of 64. It didn't happen last year, but it happened obviously with Texas, and then they won again in the round of 32. And about half the time we see those teams make the Sweet 16. So it's something to keep an eye on when handicapping in the future. We saw it also with the college football playoff this year. Miami was definitely the last at-large in. Everyone thought Notre Dame should have gotten in instead of Miami. And what do? They make it to the championship game. So it's an angle that does continue to work. So as much as things have changed, taking that ugly duckling that nobody thinks deserves to be there continues to work. And Texas is our Cinderella team. And they were calling VCU the Cinderella team after Thursday, which is crazy as well.
Yeah, I in all my brackets, I just went all chalk. I was like, just stop putting the 15 seed through. Stop. And I'm doing well. I'm doing well in the brackets. It's most boring, but yeah, it happens. And
Andy, Steve, I'll say this about the brackets too. Like anybody who didn't have Florida going far, that was a huge break yesterday. Because I had 3 number ones in my final 4. Florida's the one I left out. Now I liked the Gators yesterday, so I didn't want to see them lose, but that actually was good for me because we have Illinois who's still alive. And like you said, you don't want to take those chances anymore because all you're doing is getting maybe 1 round correct and you're maybe jeopardizing the next 4 rounds. But yeah, Florida going down outright was the big upset so far, and especially from a bracket perspective because they were probably the 4th overall pick to win the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's move to NBA, have you do both games at once and then tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk. We got the Lakers and Pistons. Steve, Steph Curry is the only player I have seen with a line of 4.5 3-pointers over or under as a player prop. Normally that's like 1.5 to 1. Luka is up to 4.5. The markets have him at 4.5. He is on such a heater. They're taking on the Pistons tonight, obviously no Cade. And then we got the Spurs and the Heat. Stephon Castle would be the big injury. Not sure if he's going to return or not. But let's start with Lakers, Pistons, then tell everyone what you have up, and then we'll move to Spurs and the Heat. What's your take on tonight's games?
Yeah, sounds good. And by the way, the Heat game was flexed into the Peacock NBC Sportsnet game. And my guess is that this Laker-Piston game was probably the original one that they had circled because they both go at 7:10 Eastern. So we'll start with this game. Cade Cunningham out, collapsed lung injury, whatever you want to call it. Really disturbing for me. I mean, any kind of lung injury, you don't want to see that. One of the best players, one of the definitely best young players in the NBA. So it's going to be a tough road for the Pistons. Have been one of the 2 or 3 best teams overall this year. In fact, they have the second best net rating behind the Thunder in the entire NBA this season. As is often the case, when a player is out, the team steps up, and we have seen that the last couple games with the Pistons winning against the Wizards and also against Golden State, 2 struggling squads. But they were a 14 and 5.5 point favorite in those 2 games. Huge step up in class now against the Lakers, who are not just playing good, they're playing great. They enter here off of 9 straight wins, and they've covered 8 of those 9. In fact, if you go back, lost that game at Denver, they won 3 before that. So they've won 12 of their last 13 straight up, and they've gone 11 and 2 ATS their last 13. Not looking to get in front of this steamroller Lakers squad right now in what should be a focus spot tonight. And I do think the Pistons start to regress. You know, teams often step up a little bit. Opponents overlook them when a key player is out. We always talk about the injury situational play, but it starts to wear off. And if you're going to play it, I would lay it with the Lakers. And the line is only -2. Open 1.5. It's now up to -2. So it's a basic straight-up win situation. And while the Pistons have won a couple without Cunningham, don't fool yourselves. They're going to be a much weaker team here. They're going down the stretch without him. And this is also really the last focus spot for the Lakers for a while. They're at Indiana. They play Brooklyn, the Wizards after this. So it looks like a spotlight focus spot for LA tonight, -2 at 7 Eastern. And then your national TV game, the game that was flexed into this spot also at 7:10 Eastern on Peacock and NBC Sportsnet, is the Spurs and Heat. San Antonio also playing excellent basketball. They entered this game, of course, off of 5 straight wins in a row, and they have won 10 of their last 11 outright. But something I like to look for, you know, we always say don't try to catch that falling knife. And maybe the Miami Heat are a falling knife. They've lost 4 straight. But keep in mind, Miami did win 7 in a row before that, and they're still 8-3 against the spread their last 11. So I'm not going to call the Heat a falling knife. And, oh, by the way, the last 3 losses, a revenge loss. Charlotte had revenge. A loss at Charlotte, who had revenge. Lost to that red-hot Laker team that just established as the best team in the NBA the last couple of weeks, and also at Houston as a dog. So I don't necessarily think Miami's in bad current form, but the point I was going to make is we also don't want to jump in front of what we call a speeding bullet. Gabe Morency and I coined that phrase with a hot team, but we can also start looking for indications that maybe a team is starting to cool off and the market's becoming a bit frothy. Yes, the Spurs have won 5 straight, but they have failed to cover 3 of their last 4 games as a favorite. Now, granted, they were 8.5 point favorite or bigger in each of their last 4 games. They went 4-0 straight up, just 1-3 ATS. But they're not blowing teams out anymore. I think Miami is actually a live dog in this game tonight. The Heat's problem in recent games has been defense, and it's been the problem for several games. In fact, they've allowed their last 6 opponents each to shoot 49% or more from the field. So I do think the Spurs are going to get their points here. But San Antonio's been a little shaky on D as well. During this 1-3 ATS slide, they've allowed those 4 bad opponents they've played. They've allowed 2 of them to shoot 48% or higher, and 3 of the 4 to shoot 44% or more. I think both teams can get some points in this one. It's going to be a back-and-forth game. I'll take a look at the Miami Heat, who even after the back-to-back losses still shot 51% of the field. That's something else you want to look for. When a team is cooling off, it usually happens on the offensive side. That hasn't been the case with Miami. They put up 248 points against the Lakers and the Rockets. Live home dog alert in this one, the Miami Heat plus 4.5, and that's your national TV game at 7 Eastern. And don't forget, we're talking the NBA, but I'll be back with a lot of college basketball talk later this week. I, of course, have given you every NCAA tournament game for free with videos from the first 4. We're going to do it through the Final 4, through the championship game in a few weeks, including all 8 Sweet 16 games this weekend. How are there only 8 Sweet 16 games? Well, you know why. There's 16 games. There's 8 games, but there's 4 Thursday. There's 4 Friday. I will have free play videos for both Thursday and Friday's games. Probably have them up in that Wednesday range, but all you got to do is click subscribe and click the bell here on WagerTalk TV. You'll get an instant alert when the free NCAA tournament videos are posted this week. In the meantime, you'll get instant alerts when these free NBA videos are posted each day. And oh, don't forget about baseball, which is right around the corner. Thumbs up, like, positive comments below, because I do read the comments. I reply back. It really, the quicker you click that thumbs up, like, the more people that do it, the more free play videos I'll do each and every day this year. And sharing is caring. Tell a friend about WagerTalk TV. We are so close to 250,000, 250,000 subscribers here on the channel. Make sure you're one of them. And if you like my personal best bets, I do have a strong NBA best bet going tonight on Monday. And of course, we are smoking them on a mere 81-52 NBA run since the start of December. The last 3.5 months, 81-52 on my client NBA best bets, and I've got another one going tonight. Everyone gets excited for March Madness, but don't sleep on the NBA. It continues to cash. And if you'd like to get the buy 3 days, 3 days more for free, it's still available. What a great time to get that right now, because that's going to get you the entire Sweet 16 and also into the Elite 8 next weekend. It's almost unfair. 6 days for $69, dude. And then it gets all my red hot NBA as well. Check it out, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, and a daily bonus free play, including a free NBA play for tonight, is on my page as well. And get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM.
Yeah, if you've never been accidentally caught up in one of Kelly's threads that gets a little out of control, it's madness, man, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's just like, luckily it didn't get out of control, Andy, but it did put me on alert that I need to be aware on any future replies that I'm going to be under a microscope, right? Like you and I can reply to our normal followers, because first of all, Andy, you and I have less followers, but I would venture to say our troll ratio is still a lot better, even with all of hers. Like, it's just, people love to hate, right? Misery loves company is such an accurate statement. And yeah, I mean, obviously I thought people kind of realize that, but some people don't, right? So I always love the guys out there that think every tweet is directed towards them only. And if they already knew the answer, it was not a useful tweet.
I got involved in a very long Twitter thread that was all about me with Matthew Berry on Twitter a few years ago. And oh my God, it was great for followers, but it was not great for the self-esteem. I wanted to crawl in bed.
I hope Matthew Berry didn't throw you under the bus. He always seems like a decent guy.
No, he did.
Oh, wow.
So it had nothing football related to do. Do you remember the Netflix show Making a Murderer? It was like one of the very first huge Netflix documentaries. It took place in a little town called Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and that's where my family is from. And so it was this really slanted documentary saying like this guy and his family like didn't commit this crime. It was like the most slanted, ridiculous documentary ever. And Matthew Berry said something about it. And I said, if you think he's innocent, then you should volunteer to live next to him. And that did not go well. Like it was out of control, man. I thought I was gonna have to hire security. So,
but I was not expecting it to be non-sports related, though. That's
me
something.
neither. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, all right, Steve. Great stuff. I see you're on the leaderboards here on WagerTalk.com. So keep it up. Keep up the good NBA. You're right, man. This is NBA season. Like these games are bettable. The lines are predictable. You know what teams are trying hard. You know what teams are not trying hard.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we tell Andy, and you and I have talked about this before, Dan and I have as well. The big, and Crack had some great advice today, by the way. And I did watch the Allen Boston stuff last week. He is just fascinating. He does all this stuff from memory. It really is incredible. But the one edge you have as a sports bettor, even though it's harder and harder than ever to beat the Bucks are sharper than ever, is that they have to put a number up on everything, right? And they have to try to guess. And when there's uncertainty, you just don't play that game. But in the NBA, I find 1 or 2 spots a day that we just zone in on, and it's been going great. And I always joke, it's quiet time. It's quiet time right now for the NBA, right? Everyone's focusing on March Madness. The playoffs don't start for another month. The quiet time is when you make money. We talk about that in February after the Super Bowl, before March Madness. And the NBA on a nice, I think the last three days or so, I'm 5-1. Maybe it was down a couple games in the NCAA tournament, had 3 losses by less than a basket, so it could have gone either way. It wasn't terrible, but the NBA is just smoking it, and you're right. It's just so much fun. And speaking of which, baseball right around the corner. 14 or 15 games every day.
Put it up, Dan.
Put that in perspective. That's like that's an NFL card every day of the week in baseball. That's how much value you get.
Steve, we make a joke when everyone on social media, all the social media handicappers, whenever they get killed in a sport, it's time to move to another one. So Dan and I marked today as baseball is my best sport season. I got nuked over the weekend in college basketball, but time to move to baseball because it's my best.
Yeah, baseball is a grind. And if there's any, I know we probably have new viewers, and here again, a lot of you all know this already, but I'm saying it for our new viewers because we always have new viewers, is that baseball is a grind. And once again, put it in perspective. We have 15 NFL games a week, sometimes less, and we get on average almost 15 baseball games a day. I mean, I know there's some travel days, but every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there are 15 baseball games, if not more, with a doubleheader. That's a full NFL card on 3 days in a row versus the entire week. So it puts things in perspective for you.
There is no sport like baseball. Like, think about it. Baseball is starting here pretty soon, and it's going to be almost Halloween when it's over.
Almost Halloween. It was November last year, Andy.
Did it make it to November? Oh my
Well, it went
God.
Game 7. Yeah, it always goes into November if you get a Game 7. Yeah, I mean, it normally almost goes even with like Games 3 or 4 most of the time. And this is why the Rockies are not allowed to be a good baseball team.
Right.
We're trying to get Dan to talk. We're trying. It's killing
November.
Dan. I want to go another 10 minutes here just to make Dan want to talk even more.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Great Brady
Nope.
Bunch episode. Didn't Marsha have laryngitis one time or something?
Yes.
Look at
yes.
Dan. I'm trying to get him.
Well, Steve, you mentioned there's ways to do NBA. We're going to do all around the world. I'm going to show people. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to show people how to make money off of bench player props.
Awesome.
And the value there is there. Let's do it. Thank you, Steve.
See you guys.
We'll talk to you later. All right, Dan, let's do it. All around the world. We got a theme with the first. Yes.
I found a way to have Snoop Dogg talk for me. We're so back. Grab our best bets at wt.buzz/AL. Lacrosse play loaded now. Buy 3, get 3 free is the deal you want. Andy, what we got for all around the world.
We're going to take a look at bench players, Snoop. Let's look at some Snoop Doggity dogs here. All right. So these first two props, I want to talk about bench players. There is a lot of value in these bench players because teams need to know what they have in these guys. And this is the perfect time of year to try and figure it out. What do we have? So I'm going to start with Rob Dillingham, and his point total is only 8.5 points. You look at what he's done over the last 5 games. He's flown over this. He's had 12 points in the last 5 games. His usage rate is way up. And there's a Bulls. They need to know what they have with Dillingham. He was a bust on Minnesota. Do they have a legit player moving forward? So he's going to get minutes. And they're telling him, you're kind of running the offense when you're out there. You're shooting. We need to know if you're good. So he's going to get there by hook or by crook just because of the usage and just because the Bulls need to know if he's good or not. So look for him to go over this 8.5 points. And this is a guy you could probably ride for a few more games here. Playing a Rockets team hasn't been the best defensive team recently. So Rob Dillingham over. And here's another bench player, Taylor Hendricks, over 10.5 points. He's playing the exact same amount of minutes every single night for the Grizzlies. He's gone over in 4 straight games. He's shooting the ball really well. There's a Grizzlies team. They don't want to win, but they have their rotation set. The starters don't even play 30 minutes. They're bringing in other guys off the bench. And these are props that are on nobody's radar. The books aren't paying attention to them. Bettors are not paying attention to them. But this is the time of year where these teams that are tanking, they need to see what they got in their bench players, and there's a lot of opportunity. So take a look at Taylor Hendricks and Rob Dillingham over their point totals tonight. And this is not just for tonight. This is just moving forward. Keep your eye on these bench players and these low totals with these guys coming off. Lino, yes, Bones Highland has been a revelation. He's been fantastic. We hit on him a couple times. He's been amazing with Anthony Edwards out. The books are starting to catch up on Bones, though. I saw his point total starting to go up. So last one, I had to bring this one up just because it's plus 125, and I don't think it's the right number here. He's gone over 2.5 3-pointers. This is Ryan Rollins. He's gone over 2.5 3-pointers in 5 straight, but it's the attempts. He's getting 7 attempts and he's shooting 49%. And they're playing a Clippers team that not great defensively out on the perimeter. So if you're going to give me a guy that's going to get 7 attempts and he's shooting 50% from the field and I get plus 125, that to me says value. So Rob Dillingham, Taylor Hendricks, Ryan Rollins, those are your free player props for tonight. All right, that's going to do it. I was going to recap the weekend, but we'll wait and talk about bankrolls and records when Dan gets his voice back, because I'm going to do a little back and forth with things. So, Dan, thank you so much for hanging in there. Don't talk Don't talk. Just leave it there. So, Jesse, I need you to leave in the comment section your Wager Talk username. That way I can give you the free 3-day pass. Thank you guys for joining us. And again, please hit the like button. Really helps us out. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell us your best bet for tonight. Always love seeing what you guys are betting on this Monday. And we're rooting on our tennis doubles plays, potential 8 units worth of profit. Well, no other sports are going on, but yours truly, the tennis doubles expert, will be locked and loaded. Thank you very much. It's $5 Tuesday tomorrow. Got you locked and loaded. Same time, same place. Good luck on your bets. Take care.